Namaskar and a very good afternoon to everyone present here. On behalf of High Court of Orissa, I, Abhilash Senapati, Registrar Records, extend my heartiest greetings to all our honorable guests, judicial officers, officers of the registry, government officials, officers of the Odisha Judicial Academy, State Legal Services Authority, members of the bar, members of print and electronic media, and all the distinguished dignitaries present today at the inauguration of the virtual High Courts. On this August occasion, it is indeed our proud privilege to have amongst us His Lordship Honorable Dr. Justice Y.Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, who has been kind enough to join with us virtually. We are indeed fortunate to have his gracious presence amongst us on this resplendent occasion. We find ourselves very fortunate to have amongst us Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, along with companion judges. We are privileged to have my Lord's presence in this grand event. It is indeed our proud privilege to have amongst us on the dais members of the IT and AI Committee, Honorable Mr. Justice Subhashish Talapatra, Judge, High Court of Orissa, Honorable Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, Judge, High Court of Orissa, Honorable Mr. Justice Murahari Sri Raman, Judge, High Court of Orissa, and Honorable Mr. Justice Chittaranjan Das, Judge, High Court of Orissa. My Lord, our heads bow down in gratitude for your Lordship's gracious presence on this August occasion. We are also blessed to have amongst us former judges of the High Court of Orissa. My Lord, Pranam. May I now seek the permission of our chief guest, His Lordship Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, to kindly declare the event as open.
A pleasure in declaring the event as open.
Thank you, my Lord. The event is declared open. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru had once said, justice in India should be simple, speedy, and cheap. Today, we find ourselves blessed to witness history being carved out in our front. Access to courts and access to justice definitely has a strong backing that is given to us by the Constitution of India. Courts and other forums that resolve disputes should be reasonably accessible to all. Virtual high courts will ensure access to speedy justice and access to the high courts from places which are at a distance from the High Court of Orissa. Now, we begin with the event. So may we now request my Lord Honorable Justice Subhashish Talapatra, Judge, High Court of Orissa, and Chairman of the IT and AI Committee, to kindly present the welcome address. My Lord.
Honorable Justice D. Yashwant Rao Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, Honorable Chief Justice S. Muralidhar, and the members of the IT committees of this High Court, honorable judges, the judicial officers, lawyers, the members of the print and electronic media, and other dignitaries from the administration and other agencies. I just convey great good afternoon, great in a sense. It is as we call really a red letter day, because Orissa High Court, with the able guidance of Justice Muralidhar, is going to give a very strong experimental big leap to bring the technology in use for extending the virtual course in the 10 district centers of the Orissa. This is the phase 1, because we have planned to reach all the districts so that the access from this particular district center can be made to the High Court proceeding. We know it will take a long way to be ingrained in the system because it is an experimental thing. But during the pandemic period, we have learned how to use the technology to have the access to the courts and court proceeding. A furthering stuff. The furthering and to further achieve from this plane. What will be available and new? Earlier, we have these our DC cabin in all the district headquarters and district courts. Now there will be almost a studio-like, studio-fitted, the cabin, then there will be waiting room. Somewhere it is the 2 cabins for addressing the court. And that will be there will be a little bit this art of technology that we have taken to the level where usually the lawyers could not have earlier access the High Court proceedings. So this will be done. I remember just when I was just addressing you, welcome you in this program, I recall one statement Justice Chandrachud made, that the future of the courts will be going to be a good blend between the uses of technology perfectly fitted, and that will never kill the concept of the open court. Because the open court concept will be, when we'll be just going live streamed in all the courts, this open court concept will be much stronger, which is required in a democracy, because our court system is dedicated for the service of the people. So the technology, we are trying very hard to narrow down the divide that we comprehend that may cause through the technology. But we are making the infrastructure in such a way that divide is get narrowed and narrowed and narrowed. And the participation of all section of the citizenry or the lawyers who represents the citizen in search of a justice through this technology. And we are building up the technology, the spaces, even the system. In the system that we are going to introduce, our Chief Justice will elaborate it, that the from any, such as a center from the Kalahandi, the partner, Bhawanipatna, that the lawyer can address the High Court. He can address the High Court, he can file. We have adopted the e-filing 0.3 now, and they can also get the certified copy from this station. And we are sending one of our these registry officials to manage those small centers. Hope this experiment will be successful, like other ventures that we had taken earlier, like establishment of the paperless courts. And we have a long way to go, but we are sure that we will achieve the goal of justice. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lord, for the warm and heartfelt welcome extended to our honorable guests. May I now have the privilege to humbly request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, to kindly render his address to this august gathering. Hello.
Pranam, a very warm good afternoon to everyone present here. Dr. Justice Y.Chandrachud, the Chief Justice of India. It's always such a pleasure when you join us either physically or online in our functions. It means a lot to us. It always encourages us to move forward. And we know we have your full support that we can count on. My colleagues in the High Court, my learned brothers, Justice Talapatra, Justice Panigrahi, Justice Raman, Justice Dash, all my colleagues present here in the auditorium, the former judges of this court. It means a lot that you're here with us on this very historic day. For you, it is very important for you to see how your High Court has evolved from stage to stage. The judicial officers who are present here, and most importantly, all the district judges present in all the districts of Orissa, not just the 10 districts where the virtual high courts are going to be inaugurated by the Chief Justice of India today, but all the districts in Orissa who have joined us. So we really have 30 districts, bar associations in 30 districts, all participating in today's event. Today's event means a lot, not just to a few districts, but to many districts, because the way we have conceptualized in the first phase is that the virtual high court in a particular district will serve the needs of the immediate neighboring districts, till in the second phase, more virtual high courts will be opened in the districts. This is, as Justice Talapatra was pointing out, a truly historic moment for the High Court of Orissa and for the judiciary in Orissa, where the High Court, not just metaphorically, but actually makes its presence felt in the districts in Orissa. As Justice Talapatra was mentioning, we already had video conferencing cabins in the various districts, thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, when we had to bridge the digital divide, where lawyers may not have had devices through which they could connect to the court. But this is an improvement on that several fold, because this virtual High Court, as you will see in the short video that will be presented, has a back office. That back office has a trained personnel sent from the High Court. There is also a staff that goes with him. They receive papers, they scan the papers, they help the lawyer e-file the case, they help him number the case, they help him list the case. The lawyer can mention the case. All this, what he would have done physically had he had to travel all the way to Cuttack, he can now do in whichever district the virtual High Court is. So this is a huge difference that is going to be felt by the district lawyers. It will make it much easier for them to now file their cases, register them, mention it for listing, and actually have the cases heard. And post hearing, whatever they would do, apply for the certified copy, obtain the certified copy, all of this will be done at their respective stations where the virtual high courts are going to be inaugurated today. So this is definitely a big step forward. If this experiment can be successful, then it will really change the face of the judiciary in Orissa. We anticipated this in a sense when we opened e-filing stations in every one of the 30 districts in Orissa, which happened almost 2 years ago. So the lawyers have got trained. We actually had training sessions where our own master trainers helped the lawyers, helped the law clerks in e-filing. We moved from e-filing 1.0 to now the e-filing 3.0 version. We've trained them in this version, and we will continue to do the training, continue to do the hand-holding. We know this change has to be gradual, but we will be there with them for this change to take place. And lawyers everywhere in Orissa will find a huge change in the way they organize themselves for law practice. I'm sure it is a step forward for each one of them. It's a learning, but it's all for the better, because ultimately it will help us deliver justice to the people of Orissa in a far more efficient and economic way than was imagined a few years ago. So we are taking advantage of technology. We are moving forward, and we hope that Orissa can show the way forward for the rest of the country. I must once again thank the E-Committee and Justice Chandrachud, without whose support, I don't think we could have even imagined many of the steps we are taking. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you, for being here on this very historic moment. Jai Hind.
I must state here that it is only the efforts of your lordship that has taken state judiciary of Orissa to a different level in the field of digitization, case disposal system, computerization, and so many other fields which Odisha judiciary has seen in the last 2 years. Thank you, my lord, for the warm and heartfelt address to our honorable guests and the words of encouragement along with your constant guidance. To take matters ahead, it is my utmost honor to humbly request His Lordship, Honorable Dr. Justice Y.Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, to inaugurate the virtual high courts. My lord. Thank you, my lord. May I now seek permission from the chief guest of today's event, my lord Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, to screen a short video presentation on the virtual High Court of Odisha, established in 10 districts.
Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
Welcome to the visual presentation of Virtual High Courts. Access to justice is an integral part of the justice delivery system. Geographical distance could be a barrier which can be overcome by technology. Earlier, the High Court of Orissa during the COVID-19 pandemic had established video conferencing cabins in every district headquarters so that the advocate could participate in the hearing virtually from anywhere. Today, in a historic step, the High Court of Orissa has established virtual high courts in the district based upon the ratio of the cases and distance from the High Court. Every virtual High Court will have ICT devices such as computers, 55-inch LED screen for interacting with High Court, speakers, document visualizer to show the documents, stand cameras so that court can see the advocates clearly, among other items. Advocates in the districts can file their cases through e-filing, can also file mention memos through online portal, appear virtually through dedicated cabins, and avail other services through trained High Court staff in the back offices in the virtual High Court centers. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. I now humbly request, with immense pleasure and gratitude, Honorable Dr. Justice Y.Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, to present the inaugural address to this august gathering. My Lord.
Namaste and good evening. A very good evening to Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice of the Orissa High Court, Justice S. Talapatra, the Chairman of the IT Committee, and all the members of the IT Committee of the High Court, to all the distinguished judges of the High Court, former judges, members of the District Judiciary, and everyone who is associated with today's event, including the IT staff of the High Court and the District Courts. I'm nothing short of delighted to find myself delivering the address at the inauguration of yet another initiative of the Orissa High Court. My heartiest congratulations to everyone involved in establishing the virtual courts of the Orissa High Court. Under the able leadership of Chief Justice Muralidhar, the Orissa High Court has proved itself a trailblazer in the field of adapting technology to our justice delivery systems. It has digitized records, inaugurated paperless courts, established vulnerable witness deposition centers, prepared a digital records room, and much more in a short span of time. 2 years ago, most of these initiatives may have seemed like a distant dream. The common citizen would have chuckled at the thought of the Orissa High Court operating in every district of the state. Perhaps they would have considered these initiatives a part of a scene from a futuristic movie or a television show. Yet today, we have inaugurated virtual courts in 10 districts in Orissa, and the remaining districts are set to have virtual courts by March 2023. This just goes to show that a committed and enthusiastic team working under the dynamic leadership of your Chief Justice can achieve anything that it puts its mind to. The 10 virtual courts that will be operational from today are located in the districts of Sambalpur, Bolangir, Sundargarh, Kalahandi, Bhadrak, and Rourkela in western Orissa, Berhampur and Koraput in southern Orissa, and Balasore and Bhadrak in northern Orissa. It is truly a moment of celebration for the High Court, as well as for the residents of Orissa, and indeed, I believe for the entire judiciary and the nation. In this moment, we must not neglect to thank those who implement the virtual courts project. The credit lies not only with those at the helm of these initiatives, but also with those who oversee their day-to-day functioning. The IT technicians, operators, clerks, and other staff members who are operating at the back end give life to the vision of futuristic courts. They are the unsung heroes of the technology revolution. In my own court, my court moderator, Mr. Ravi, ensures that virtual hearings run smoothly. He assists my court masters, Mr. Seth Sanjay Kumar and Mr. Chetan Bish. In the virtual courts too, each court hall will have staff members to see to it that judges counsel and the parties are seen and heard on the virtual platform without any hiccups. They will communicate with counsel through the chat box and respond to any queries or concerns regarding the virtual hearing. Other staff members will facilitate the e-filing of cases at the High Court and guide lawyers and clerks on the removal of defects. The High Court will take up cases which are being argued through the virtual courts in the first hour of every working day. Of all the services that will be available, the most exceptional is the physical or in-person courtrooms in every district. These rooms, which we saw on the video clip, will be equipped with video conferencing facilities and provide a professional atmosphere for advocates to appear. Advocates need not rely on their personal facilities to appear before the virtual High Court. Crucially, their establishment ensures that no advocate, and I repeat, no advocate, will be denied the advantages of virtual courts for want of funds or for any other reason. Advocates and parties in person who are not comfortable with technology can also submit hard copies of their petitions to staff members who will e-file them. Virtual courts give the term accessibility a different shade of meaning. In most states of our country, the high courts are located in the capital city due to practical considerations. While many large states such as Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu have benches of the High Court functioning in another city or town, in addition to the capital, the High Courts of most states function in a single city. There are other High Courts too, like the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad, which functions both from Allahabad and Lucknow, and then you have Rajasthan, which functions both in Jodhpur and Jaipur. Orissa will be the first state to boast of a High Court which is accessible from within every district in the state. Most residents of Orissa will no longer be required to travel even a few hours away from their hometown. Lawyers in different parts of the state too stand to benefit from this move. Appearing before an appellate court requires a somewhat different skill set as compared to appearing before a court of first instance. The establishment of these virtual courts will permit lawyers who previously appeared only before courts of the first instance to hone an additional set of skills. While pragmatic concerns prevent us from operating in person benches of the high courts in every district, there is no denying that extending the reach of high courts through virtual courts decentralizes the participation in the administration of justice. This was also the case with the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court began operating virtually during the COVID-19 pandemic, I noticed that bright young lawyers from across the country began to appear before us. These lawyers were not denied the opportunity to appear in the Supreme Court merely because they had chosen to establish their practice in another city. Talent is not a monopoly of only those who stay in metropolitan areas. I also noticed that more women appeared before us because virtual hearings permitted them to retain the flexibility that their schedules demanded as a result of the unequal burden of care work. I hope that the advent of virtual courts will encourage a greater number of male lawyers also to shoulder responsibilities related to the home and the family. There are a few things which I wanted to share with you on this occasion. The first is the new initiative which has been adopted by the Supreme Court of translating the judgments of the Supreme Court from English into every Indian language. With machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence assisted software, we have today sophisticated tools and instruments to ensure that our judgments which are delivered in English can reach out to common citizens in the language which they understand. I'm sure that under the dynamic leadership of Chief Justice Muralidhar, this will be the next project that the High Court of Orissa will launch upon, namely translating the judgments of the Supreme Court as well as of the High Court of Orissa into Oriya so that we can reach out to every citizen. This is a new model of the administration of justice which we are trying to adopt. Instead of people reaching out to us, we are trying to reach out to people, to go to their doorsteps, to go into their hearts and explain to them that we are available for protecting their rights and liberties. This initiative, which has been adopted by the High Court of Orissa, is of immense importance to the development of the bar and to citizens. Citizens don't have to come to the city where the High Court is situated anymore. They can address the High Court and they can obtain knowledge of the proceedings of the High Court sitting across the state. Equally importantly, we are ensuring that the development of the bar takes place all over the state of Orissa. As I said a short while ago, talent has no geographical boundaries. There are talented people who are situated across our states, many of them due to resources or the lack of awareness are not able to set up practice in the seat of the High Court. They should not be denied the opportunity of self-development, of self-evolution. And I believe that by adopting this initiative, the High Court of Orissa has taken a very important step to ensure that the decentralization of the administration of justice leads to the evolution of talent across the state, where young lawyers, the middle-aged lawyers, the senior lawyers will be able to truly participate in the evolution of jurisprudence by the Orissa High Court in the process of also shaping their own careers. We have today the benefit of speech-to-text artificial intelligence aided software. The Supreme Court has tapped the resources of IIT Madras, where we have requested two very distinguished scholars, Professor Mitesh Khapra and Dr. Vivek Raghavan, to provide us the AI-assisted translation software. I believe this is something which we can do today in the course of criminal trials and as well as our civil trials. Namely, we can adopt a speech-to-text software so as to facilitate the transcribing of evidence which is deposed to in the course of a criminal trial from the language in which the evidence is deposed to, namely Oriya, into every language that we want it to be translated in, namely Oriya and English. So it can be transcribed into Oriya and it can be translated into English simultaneously. We have, in the recent month, launched the e-Supreme Court reports. 34,000 judgments of the Supreme Court, which were available on the Supreme Court reports, have now been converted into a digitized framework, into a digitized platform. And we have an elastic search facility, as a result of which these judgments are available across the world, not only for Indians, but across the world for anyone who is interested in Indian law. I'm taking this opportunity because I know that this function is being attended to by district judges from across the state of Orissa, by the bar associations from across the state of Orissa. Please use the ESCR facility, which we have provided free of charge to our litigants. We have close to 2,000 judgments of the Supreme Court, which have been now translated into Hindi. And we are on the anvil of translating these judgments in every Indian language. And I will be working very closely with Chief Justice S. Muralidhar and with his very dynamic colleagues on the bench and the dynamic members of the staff to further our initiative. So let me then conclude by saying that I would like to highlight the power of technology as a unique tool to help us reach a middle ground. Many bar associations in Orissa had demanded that in-person benches of the High Court be set up in different parts of the state. Chief Justice Muralidhar, ably assisted by all his judges, have gone one step further than what was the demand of the bars. While it was not practicable, a move to have in-person hearings by setting up benches, technology has made winners of all of us. No party has emerged dissatisfied On that positive note, I come to an end of my address. Once again, I extend my heartiest congratulations to all those who have played a part in establishing the virtual courts. I hope that other high courts across the country will follow suit and kickstart initiatives which will help their communities. I earnestly appeal to all the high courts in the country to now ensure that we set up virtual high courts in every district within each state, so that lawyers across the nation will be addressing their high courts through this kind of an initiative, which has been spearheaded by the Orissa High Court. It takes one person, I think, to make a new initiative. But once the moment catches on, the movement will then become a national initiative, which I hope will happen in the near future. Thank you very much, Chief Justice Muralidhar, for inviting me. And I hope to come and participate in many, many more initiatives that you will adopt in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord, for such treasured and inestimable thoughts on the digitization works carried out by the High Court of Orissa, which will surely act as an added impetus. Thank you, my lord, for your opinions about usage of technology and how it will go a long way in helping the advocates and litigants, and for your kind support to the projects undertaken by the High Court of Orissa. Now, we proceed to the end of the program. I would request my Lord Honorable Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, Judge, High Court of Orissa and member of the IT and AI Committee, to kindly present the vote of thanks. My Lord.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. Y.Chandrachud, Honorable Chief Justice of High Court of Orissa, Dr. S. Muralidhar, Justice S. Talapatra, Chairman of IT and AI Committee, Justice Murahari Raman, Justice V. Nursing, Justice C.R. Das, members of the IT and Artificial Intelligence Committee, my sister and brother judges of Orissa High Court, former judges of Orissa High Court, registry staff, members of the district judiciary, and all the unsung heroes who have made this possible. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. I consider it great privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have made it convenient to attend the inauguration of virtual High Court's benches in 10 Judgeships of Orissa High Court, organized by the IT and AI Committee, High Court of Orissa. Unlike just a few months ago, the vision of virtual courts in India no longer seems audacious. The COVID-19 induced lockdown of courts has given a flavor of the potential that technology holds to address a key concern, that is access to justice to all. Combined with process reengineering and optimization of court processes, the Indian judiciary, both in its physical and virtual form, is staring at a future with immense possibilities in innovations. At this turning point for the Indian judiciary, I feel proud that High Court of Orissa is taking lead in this mammoth task of technology integration and adoption in the justice delivery system. We are deeply grateful to my Lord Justice Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, the Chief Justice of India, for gracing the occasion with his virtual presence and sparing his valuable time and thought. Your enthusiasm and presence have been essential in making this event a success, and we are thrilled to have had such a wonderful company. Not to mention, Justice Chandrachud has shown tireless dedication in its pursuit to raise awareness about the need for improved access to justice and inspired countless individuals to take up the cause. We are extremely grateful for your help in making this event a success, sir. Our beloved Chief Justice, Dr. S. Muralidhar, has always confided his presence and confidence in the omnipotence of initiative and persistence. His enthusiasm is contagious, and his unfailing support has inspired the committee to be relentless in our efforts and always expand our horizon. I would also thank Dr. Subhasis Talapatra who have who has guided us regularly and has led the team. I would like to thank our Chief Justice for his dedication and the valuable guidance in the achievement of this endeavor. Digitization of justice system is an important objective to pursue as part of new push for Indian democracy and in line with the political priority of the new India fit for the digital age. At present, a very small section of the society has access to the conventional mode of physical courts, and even if they have, it is accessible at the disproportionate expense as well as effort. However, with the virtual court, such issues can be resolved. To overcome this challenge, this initiative has created an efficient logistical network and infrastructure to set up a system which facilitates seamless judicial interaction. While virtual courts are slowly making their inroads as a feature of courts of today, during the pandemic, courts underwent a tectonic shift towards virtual hearings. Physical courtrooms shut their doors and hearings were moved to a virtual space. This transformation was fast, radical, and likely to permanently alter the landscape of justice. We have overcome the pandemic as well as our archaic notion of the courtroom. Our vision shall provide courts and tribunals with the opportunity to reimagine themselves and their relationships with the community they serve. They have the chance to use symbols that resonate with contemporary courts users and to design rituals that be appropriate to current public sensibilities. Barack Obama once said, when we succeed because of our individual initiative, but also because we do things together. Getting to this stage of the program has involved the commitment, collaboration, cooperation, and goodwill of numerous members and technicians associated with the High Court of Orissa. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated associates and worked day and night and did their job so exceedingly well. I express my sincere thanks to the other esteemed guests who have taken keen interest in the program and have taken time out of their busy schedule to attend the event. Special thanks to print and electronic media. It is this time for a deeper reflection and creative thinking about what courts of the future should look and feel like. We see this as a moment of opportunity, improve practices, and create more respectful and inclusive justice environment. There is no medicine like hope, no incentive so great, and no tonic so powerful as expectation of something better tomorrow. At this juncture, we shall promise ourselves that we shall keep striving for the betterment of our community and our nation. Thank you all. Thank you for this, your presence in this great
Thank
meeting.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord, for your kind and inspiring words of support, appreciation, and encouragement. Thank you, my lord. I would now request the Honorable Chief Guest to declare the program closed.
Thank you. Namaste.
Sir, now the ceremony is declared closed.